Hello my friends, Takuya here, and welcome back to another Hearts of Iron 4 video, and simultaneously, Happy New Year to all of you. My friends, in the previous video that I did as Germany, where Germany did nothing wrong, I have to say that I am completely and utterly stunned by the sheer amount of support that I received over the course of that video. And namely, also, the sheer amount of support that I received here for my voice. For those of you who did not watch that video, yes, this is indeed my natural voice. The voice that I normally put on when I'm making a number of my different videos or talking to people is something that I have made, well, since I was young, because my face is, how should I put this, naturally very grave looking. And as a result of that, since high school, I have always raised my voice in almost every social situation that you can imagine. But from all the comments that I saw, if this is what you want to hear, then my friends, this is what you're going to get. And speaking of getting what it is that you ask for, I saw a rather interesting challenge in the comments. Paratroopers only. Among all things in this game that I have not necessarily messed around with very much, Special Forces is probably pretty high up on that list, particularly since everything was completely revamped in the previous DLC. Or I say previous, I mean the latest, though it's now at this point been, how long has it been since the previous one released? 3 months? 4 months? Either way, the Paratrooper Challenge. The problem with utilizing only Paratroopers is that Paratroopers are Special Forces, and when you use Special Forces, you have to have a certain amount of other units in order to be able to increase the cap of your base, which I believe from the start is 24 battalions, if I recall correctly. But this is something that goes up the more battalions of other units that you have in the field. Thus, in order to be able to do a Special Forces only challenge, we have to do something that has a very high population base. I don't think that we can do Special Forces Norwegian Vikings only. That's probably not going to work out. And in particular, Paratroopers makes the entire situation significantly worse because you need to have an actual air force in order to be able to utilize with said Paratroopers. So Japan, you're practically out there. I would also say that France, Germany, Italy, and the Soviet Union are removed from the potential contender list because, unfortunately, when you are on mainland Europe, that means that you are potentially surrounded on all sides by enemies and you cannot utilize only Special Forces. You will quite literally get overrun. Which just leaves the question of the United Kingdom or the United States. The United Kingdom is a good choice, but then again, I have also simultaneously done an air-only challenge already as the United Kingdom, so United States it is then. I've seen Band of Brothers. Let's make that a reality. Undisturbed isolation? Great Depression? No, that's just me in high school. Now, of course, the biggest question is, do we keep historical AI on? I know that if I keep it on, I will more than likely have to deal with Japan, but you know, there's ways that we can work around this. And considering that we're going with a very specific challenge, I would like to keep a degree of predictability in this game, so sure. Let's get this going then. The United States. You know, generally speaking, I have not done many playthroughs as the United States, with the exception of ones that I've done for Kaiser Redux because, well, let's be fair, it's Kaiser Redux. The United States is pretty insane in that. But from the very beginning of the game, we have the largest economy in the world, of which we have access to barely any of it. We can't actually hardly do anything, as isolation is completely destroying our consumer goods and simultaneously giving us massive debuffs to be able to build any kind of civilian or military factories. I mean, minus 50% is, that's pretty bad. Free trade is at least going to help us considering our massive resource base that we're going to be able to export all these varying goods from, and we have barely any recruitable population, which is not great. Combine that with the Great Depression, which reduces our political power gain by 1, and that means we're barely going to make any political power once we actually choose a focus here. The question is, do we ourselves go historical with Continue the New Deal, or do we try and wait to reestablish the gold standard and go down these other varying paths? Well, I have no wish to switch from democracy, as I'm actually going to need that for certain bonuses, so I don't want to do America first and then all these other varying things. They're not gonna lie, this aggressive democratic America does actually sound like a pretty fun thing. If I do a game as the United States in the future here without historical AI on, I think I'm going to try this, but now we're going to continue the New Deal and get that going. Simultaneously, research-wise, we actually start with a decent number of bonuses. We have free trade, we have all these other things that are going to help us, so we're going to go ahead and need to get Paratroopers researched and started. This is the only special unit that we're going to use over the course of the game. We're not going to use Marines, we're not going to use anything, so there is no real reason to research any of this stuff here. Get our engineering going. Besides that, of course, we have to get the basic of the basic done, and once that is out of the way, then we can begin building up large amounts of infrastructure, the only thing that is actually not affected by our debuffs. Military factory-wise, we only have 10, but that's not really going to be a problem because we only need to produce infantry equipment right now. All this other stuff, I'm sure that's at the bottom. Yeah, small airframes and whatnot. We don't need that. Who gives a crap about a weak little air force? Put all of our available stuff on guns with just a little bit of support equipment and artillery so I can start building up a little bit of a surplus of that. And sure, we will focus on finishing off the rest of this navy here. We'll get all that taken care of at least. Simultaneously, let's get every single one of our divisions, slap those into an army, and we are going to actually send you all back home here real quick. All of these are set as infantry divisions. I do not want that. I'm going to change you over to National Guard divisions. And yes, I don't have the infantry equipment. I don't have hardly any of the stuff, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to switch you over so that we can immediately get you trained up. Now, the reason that I'm switching all of those over right now is because the more battalions that we have out, the more that our special forces cap is going to go up. We need that to produce as many paratroopers as we can, since that's going to be the only thing that we're going to be allowed to use. Of course, I forgot, playing as the United States means that we're going to have a lot of problems here within politics, because politics and a problem is synonymous with the United States now, isn't it? This is way less friendly than my Germany game already. And there we go, with the first one done, continue the new deal. That means that we're going to have some political power. With the new political power, we can then spend that on perhaps lobbying efforts. We might actually need that here in order to gain House support, because otherwise I'm not really going to be able to pass any of my laws that I'm really going to need. Next up on here, the WPA. We're going to go ahead and get that, and simultaneously medium lobbying effort. We're going to need to get that done. Yeah, already I am draining my political power, so that's not exactly fun for me. The next step after that, silent workhorse or financial expert. Honestly, I want to be able to use more of my factories, but I'm going to need the political power in order to be able to do special things. Actually, you know what? We're going to save that. I have a plan. Right, and how could I forget all the varying navies of the world that I have? I don't need all these loose ships. We're going to combine these into one force, assign that to a commander, and then afterwards we're going to proceed to train them up as much as we can. And with the passing of the WPA, that's going to give us a large amount of political power and simultaneously allow us to launch the Agricultural Adjustment Act. Our farmers have been particularly hard hit by the Depression, and we must ensure that the people who produce our food are not driven out of business by an unchecked market. Yes, this will at least help with the Great Depression, so I can help my people, and that way get things back and running. Simultaneously, another medium lobbying effort, and before I run out of political power, we're going to give refuge to both German scientists and also Italian scientists, which, yes, it hurts our stability, but simultaneously, that's going to give us 10% research speed bonus. And from the get-go, 23% research is pretty nice in the base game to have. All right, because we're training up the naval fleet, that means that we're going to get rapid amounts of naval experience, which we can then use to get naval reform, even more naval experience. Beautiful. And with the Agricultural Adjustment Act done, that means we can do scientific research and gain a research slot. Every time it appears, we're just going to need to continuously hit medium lobbying, which, yes, it's draining our political power, but overall, I need the support more than anything else in order to be able to pass my laws. And with the research slot done, that means I can now choose between limited intervention or the Neutrality Act. To be fair, when we're talking about this with the United States, there are multiple ways in which you can effectively game the system by going down limited intervention and then awakening significantly earlier in order to be able to actually attack as an offensive force. But with the Paratroopers only challenge, that's going to be significantly more difficult. So we're going to go down the Neutrality Act, and that's going to help us get some political power and other bonuses, even if it's going to hurt us in other ways. In the meantime, we're just going to peacefully build our roads, you know, just these simple little things. Now here it is, the election of 1936. This is the moment that if we had decided to not necessarily do anything from the beginning, we could probably go down the Alf Landon path, get the gold standard, and then from there become significantly more aggressive. But we're not going to be doing that. No, the Democrats are going to win. They're 4 more years. It's going to boost our infrastructure construction bonus, and pretty much that's all that we're building anyway right now, so it doesn't really matter. More stability, more bonuses, better pizza, Papa Roosevelt. And even then, we're still maintaining a pretty decent majority here with everything. Ooh, in an event, Senator from North Carolina offers support if I go and build a weapons factory in North Carolina. You know what? I can do that. Yes, it's going to take a long time to build, but that doesn't really matter. We'll prioritize road construction for you and simultaneously a build here. That's actually not going to take too much longer. Because with the Neutrality Act, that gave me a large surplus of political power. I can now use that to get some military staff. And what we're more than likely going to want is our army offense. No, morale? Maybe. Actually, non-combat out of supplies. Maybe. You know what? No, we're going to need more attack. All the bonuses that we can get, the better. And then simultaneously, I'm going to wait for this to fill up so I can get the remaining little bits of political power in here potentially. Ah, damn it. Okay, not enough. I'm not going to waste the time here trying to do that. I'm going to wait a little bit longer then. Arsenal of Democracy. That's going to give me 50 army experience and 50 naval experience, which is valuable. In fact, I need this as quickly as possible for a very specific reason. There we are. 200 political power, Chief of Air Force, Army Reformer, even more air experience gain. That's 50% gain plus 0.4, which is going to be massive here. And see, my friends, the reason why we had to save up in order to get this guy here to get the air experience is because we need as much of this as possible. Because the only way to upgrade our paratroopers, if you go to the new officer corps and you check out, where is it? Special Forces. This is the tree that has now been added to actually add bonuses and developments to Special Forces, which largely over the course of the game have been fairly useless. There really wasn't all that much that you could do with it. But now you can actually specialize and get greater bonuses to all of your varying different special forces, and each one respectively uses either land army experience, naval army experience, or navy experience, not naval army. What am I even saying there? Or air experience, respectively. And this is why we need this, because we're going to need to generate as much air experience as possible. With Arsenal of Democracy complete, that means we're going to get additional factories in here that we can use to produce things. And I believe that should set us up here quite nicely. In fact, here's the problem. The entire time that I've been training all these units, I've been effectively bleeding equipment here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over to this National Guard division, and we're going to spend 20 army experience to actually remove the special equipment from all these forces, because we want them to only use infantry equipment. And then after that, we're going to use the remaining army experience to get relief of command to boost our army experience gain even more. And that way I can start rapidly developing these. In fact, at that point, I don't think I even need extra ones on this. I'm just going to be stockpiling this equipment, and I can instead focus all that on the production of guns. Genius. After Arsenal of Democracy, that means a scientific haven, and we get an additional research slot. The United States, from the very beginning of the game, is very powerful in its research. You can get very far ahead in certain pieces of technology. At the same time that all that is going down, one of the things that we're going to want to research here is going to be light tanks, and here's why. Normally, I don't really care about light tanks. It's not something that I genuinely want to use in many of my strategies, unless I'm playing something like Sweden and the very sorely missed Volvo Vrooms. I'm still very sad about that. But in this case, there's a very little interesting thing. If you go to your officer corps and you check out one of the features within Special Forces, there is an upgrade within your Special Forces doctrine for paratroopers called Airborne Armor, which is going to enable you to airdrop in armor with your units. Considering that we're going to be doing paratroopers only, that is probably going to be crucial for us. There we go, with 50 air experience, that means we can get the upgrade down here, probably branch independence, because that's going to give us an additional 10 air experience per day. Yes, industry liaisons is normally the thing that I go for in order to be able to research aircraft faster, but to be honest, we need to generate as much air experience in here as possible. And with Scientist Haven done, that means we can go over here and launch the Fair Labor Standards Act, even more recovering from the Great Depression. And there goes Japan declaring war on China, how fun. But as I cannot yet go down here and launch the Federal Housing Act and actually fix stuff with the Great Depression, that means that I'm going to need to go over here and launch my war divisions planning. And as I realize that I'm not yet able to launch the Federal Housing Act, that means I'm going to need to go over here and launch war planning. And now, would you look at that? For the first time, I've actually managed to make positive in terms of infantry equipment. Lovely. That means we can probably start cranking out more of these National Guard divisions then. I'm just now realizing with the Selective Training Act, that means I can actually go down here to airborne divisions. That is a thing I could indeed do. Well, first things first, we're probably going to need an Air Force before anything. Oh my God, one of the things I just realized that I could have done that I forgot to do is that I can actually go over here to China and send an attaché. I do this, it's going to increase my war support by a good 10%, as well as give me some military experience. And that means, lo and behold, I'm able to get out of isolation with the Giant Awakes. I could have actually done that probably about a good 70 days ago. That would have been significantly better if I had done that. And that completes the Giant Awakes. With the Giant Awakes, that means that we're going to be able to go down here, and I should have saved up the political power, but I will be able to go to partial mobilization soon. In fact, should I just wait? I could potentially wait. No, we can't. We're going to get the Federal Housing Act, and then after that, America's back, baby. And with the Federal Housing Act, that means America is back on top. Let's start producing. Now, the problem is I'm going to need a lot more battalions. So in order to be able to get that, I need more units, but I'm already running out of population, which means it's time for Selective Training Act. And with our Selective Training Act, that means more population. More population means more military construction. We're going to need that in order to be able to actually develop a military in here to do things. September 1938, I probably need to start hurrying here. And the U.S. Panay sunk in China. It's actually interesting at this point that I could, technically speaking, if I wanted to, go to war with Japan and just immediately topple them. I'm not going to do that, however, though. We're just going to demand compensation. With that done, I can do radio propaganda, improve my war support, and then from that, also simultaneously maybe amend the budget. Less consumer goods for a while just means more production for myself. And I think as a base, this is probably a somewhat solid military industry, though after this, what we're going to need to do is build up rapidly in our military capabilities, because we need to start building an Air Force. I know, in 1939. It's okay. We are the United States, therefore we'll be able to do quite a bit. So we can get some nice solid forces going here, I think. And oh boy, with all the equipment that I'm going to be producing, I'm actually going to start running out of resources just from how much I'm producing. We're going to need to start fixing that here. And with it being June of 1939, I think it's finally time that we start flushing out some of these paratroopers. Because now we can actually start upgrading our paratroopers here that we still have yet to actually produce. So let's see, transport, more air defense. That's actually quite nice. It'll give me more bonuses for my infantry. Now we can choose between reconnaissance and sabotage, which sabotages the states that my troops are fighting in, which is actually quite nice. And I can produce more of them because it reduces the contribution cap. What about the other one? And this one does not affect the land, it affects the enemy army. So this is going to drop the organization of the troops in the area that we drop into. Honestly, reconnaissance and sabotage, if you were going to be playing a game in which you dropped a team of elite paratroopers into a position to hold around an enemy's capital and just kind of hold that for the longest time to cut them off from supply, that is a remarkably effective thing. You would damage the state and simultaneously be able to hold out in individual areas to reduce the effectiveness of the enemy. One in this case, we're likely going to be going into combat insertion, so we're going to go and do that. Next, airborne armor. That's going to be perfect for us. And then let's see, medical detail. That improves recovery. What about this one? Defense. Ooh, recovery, defense. You know what? Defense. Defense is going to be better. Yes, this helps with supply grace, which is great. And that increases attack. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh my God. That actually allows me to do more. I can recruit more. No, hold on. This makes him more elite, which is awesome. But no, this actually helps me be able to produce more. Oh, shoot. I actually need that. All right, we're going to waste the power, but we're going to do it. I could have fully unlocked the doctrine, but I'm going to have to wait a little bit of time here. This is actually amazing. Paratrooper Special Forces cap contribution minus 20%, so I can produce even more of those. And then, not to mention, I already got this one up here before that was minus 10%. So that's a total of minus 30%, which means that all the units I've been producing, I'll be able to get even more. Because honestly, these National Guard divisions, we're just going to add more infantry to them to make them even better. And by better, I mean sponges that allow me to absorb more special forces. Yep, that'll be fine. Oh, and I realize airborne divisions is actually... Okay, you know what? That actually would help me. I did not see this before. Okay, well, there was a waste of air experience, but it's fine. And now our paratroopers that we're going to start producing are going to need some armor. So that means we're going to need to start producing some tanks. I need to provide them as much protection as I possibly can, so that means they're going to be expensive, but you know what? It's going to be worth it. My God, is that an expensive little bugger, but you know what? It's fine. And with that, there is Germany declaring war on Poland. Everything is going to shit over on that side, and I am still sitting over here training troops in Florida. The perfect training ground, my friends. And now we're going to need to design a division. I want to add in my armor, but the problem is my armor is not necessarily very heavy here right now. Because the cool thing is airborne light armor can be attached, but the problem is it's only attached as a support company. It does not appear to actually be a main battalion that can be dropped in. Since it's only support, this is going to limit the amount of bonuses that it actually provides. So I can't go too heavy, but I also simultaneously cannot go too light. Yes, 18 width is probably the best that we're going to be able to do right now. I would call you the Jumpy Boys. Airborne divisions is complete. With Airborne's division being complete, that means I should be able to go down here. And no, I thought it would give it to me for free, but it's not. That's fine. Now, France is gone. Everyone over here is gone. That is, well, quite sad, to be honest. Expected, but still sad. But still, with the improved small airframe in December of 1939, that means our air power is going to grow ever stronger. And I can finally start preparing my master plan over here. Can you guess what it is yet? No. You'll see. Oh, did you, see all the building that I was doing here? Did you? I wonder what would happen if I just annexed the Philippines. Now, the big question is at this point, with how much we've been constructing, is how many divisions are we going to actually be able to get here? Wait, these are 18 width, and they're only using 12 because of the minus 30. Oh, my Lord. Wait a minute. I can have a full army group of just paratroopers. I can have a full army group of just paratroopers. My friends, the strat is actually viable. Oh, we're going to have some immense fun with this, I know. And Mexico just nationalized my oil, so I'm going to go ahead and embargo them and wait for them to come to their senses. And thank you. Thank you, Mexico, for being a friend. The government of Lazaro Cardenas has agreed to the demands from the Royal Dutch Shell Company and Standard Oil to provide compensation in exchange for the losses. Good. That's fine. And now with the bonuses that we get from completing tank experiments, that means there's only one viable option since we're going down the paratrooper path. Super heavy death tank? No. Instead, 1941 advanced light tank chassis. And would you look at that? A full 24 divisions ready to deploy. Dropping you off in San Fran? Nope, and I realize I accidentally deleted. Okay, no, they were not all ready to deploy. My bad. I need 3 more of you. Go ahead and put you under a general that has the commando traits. That is great. And Field Marshal, Douglas MacArthur. We're going to the Philippines. It's got to be MacArthur. A chance for you to finally right your mistakes. Because my God, did he make so many back during that time. And here is a special little thing about the American industry that I found. So what America has for their military industrial organization is an aircraft company called North American Aviation, which is a range-focused bonus, something that enables you to provide range bonuses even to all of your small planes. Well, at least this is all small carrier planes here. No, it says all small and carrier. What am I even saying? What that means for the potential range of all of our planes, even the small aircraft, is going to be ridiculously large. Equip that with extra fuel tanks, even though it's going to hurt our air defense, I understand, but simultaneously that means that we're going to be able to have our small planes reach effectively all across the Pacific. As Bulgaria joins the Axis and everything escalates, we're just going to develop more armor, all for our master plan. My friends, I don't care about Europe. Whatever happens there happens, it does not matter to me. Because with the development of better armor, that means I should be able to upgrade things further. Do I have more here? I do, yes. Let's see here. That increases defense, but no, this increases armor, and that's exactly what I want. Because now with advanced light tanks, that means even further upgrades and bonuses. In fact, hold on. This was... What does cast do? More armor, but more production cost, and it simultaneously reduces my defense and my breakthrough. Why does cast have the same armor value as welded? What is the reason for that? Well, unfortunately for me, the only thing that I can really do there is get my armor up to 109, which is not the best. It's only like an improvement of what, 20, 25 from what it was before? And that's going to put my jumpy boys at an armor rating of 24, which is relatively low. Even a light tank is going to be able to pierce that, I'm pretty sure. But then again, Japan doesn't really have any tanks. Oh, sorry, did I reveal a plan there? I didn't mean to reveal any plan. And I realized that because it's October 1940, that means we're playing orange. I should actually get bonuses here. Okay, you know what? We're gonna start preparing for the fun. November 1940, another presidential election. We're not getting rid of FDR. Establish the Greenland Patrol. Aha, we're going to seize control of Greenland here. Yes. Yes, that's fine. And there's Germany declaring war on Yugoslavia, which means that things are about to get real spicy over on this side. And the creation of the Flying Tigers, what is that? The war in China has taken its toll on the Chinese Air Force. Outnumbered and outgunned by their opponents, they fought gallantly to contest the skies over China. Despite the bravery of their pilots, the Chinese Air Force is desperately searching for new planes and pilots to replace its losses, and a delegation sent by Chiang Kai-shek has arrived in Washington to negotiate the transfer of 150 modern fighters and allowing a similar number of pilots to go to China to fly those planes. Yes, of course. I will gladly send those over there. Are you kidding me? Anything that I can do in order to disrupt the Japanese right now is perfect for me. With the world on fire, that means I can finally launch the Lend-Lease Act, which means I should be able to send volunteers and do other things. I believe, right? Nope, that's merely Lend-Lease. I can also support the anti-fascist war. Yes, of course I'm going to do that in order to be able to provide bonuses for them, of course. The Chester Concession. We shall aid them outright, it's fine. All friends of democracy. Oh my god, how many bonuses are we going to continually get here? Low drag wings, look at this. 10% range, 10% speed. All small planes, plus 10% range. 10% attack. How many bonuses does America get for its aircraft? This is utterly insane. A new general for China. We're going to send Eisenhower. MacArthur is over here on this side in order to be able to help. And by God, we're going to do everything we can. And Sweden is offering us Bulgaria. Yes, I will take that. Thank you. Much appreciated, my friend. Wait a minute. July 25th. Hold on. The Icelandic ambassador in Washington has asked us to send troops to Iceland. In effect, they're asking for American protection. Well, yes, of course. Yes, we're going to accept that. But why would you declare war on the Philippines in July of 1940? This seems a little early, Japan. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're going to do it, then I'm going to take full advantage of it, to be fair. Are you immediately launching invasions? You are. Really? Buddy, I don't think that's going to work. Amelia Earhart survived. As America mobilizes for war, we have received an unusual request. As Amelia Earhart, the famous aviator who successfully... I didn't even realize that she had done that. I missed that event. She wishes to enlist in the Army Air Corps as a fighter pilot. You know what? Let's do it. I love it. I love the idea. And from all the building that we've done, we've completely managed to negate Japan's Air Force, so that's not going to be any kind of real threat to us whatsoever. Which means that the master plan can actually launch. All right, paratroopers, let's do it. Immediately seize all the territory behind them. And that's Taiwan. Taken. Oh my god, it's a slaughter. It's a slaughter. They can't even hold us. The entire American Navy is also already deployed on this side, meaning we are that close to the home islands. Quickly, let's move the paratroopers back into place. We need to get them ready. This, my friends, is the new variant of island hopping. I literally just took the island and immediately I can hop over and take the next one. There we go. Launch over the next one and boom, taken. Just like that. Done. This is so stupid. I can't believe this is happening. And we're just completely demolishing. Japan can't even read what is happening right now. All right, it's going to take a little bit of time, though. We're going to need to build up a little bit more air bases so I can get more planes going. Who needs the Marine Corps to take Okinawa? I got it, man. I got it. There's nothing stopping me now. Oh, Japan. Are you taking Wake Island? Are you taking Wake Island? Listen, I don't even care if you go and take Hawaii. It's all going to be over for you soon. And the Finnish Continuation War, so that's happening on that side. No, you're telling me that they won't have the range for it. Are you kidding me? That was my entire plan. Okay, well, we're going to need to kind of scrap that here then. All right, hear me out on this. I have an idea. American paratroopers are going to China then, baby. There we go. There's a Japanese unit wiped over on that side, and we're just going to push in through the side here. I genuinely don't care about holding any of this land. None of this actually matters to me whatsoever here. The only thing that I need to do is I need to make sure that I go down here, rush, and take Shanghai and everything else. Europe, I don't care about you, okay? There's a plan that works here. There's a plan. Quick, move in all our forces, move the Air Force, and get air superiority of northern China. Perfect, we got it. Paradrop here, paradrop here, and quick launch, go. We jumped again, baby. My god, this is genuinely hilarious. We are literally island hopping around China. Japan can't even read us. We've now hopped up here to Qingdao. And then from here, we're gonna airdrop all the way over to freaking Korea, okay? Let's do it, baby. We jumped. Quick, surround the port. We were just outside of the range, so we couldn't take it initially, but it doesn't matter because now with us actually taking it, that means we can completely take South Korea. We cut all them off from this side. That means that we'll be able to launch our strike over here into Japan. All right, do we control enough of the state to build? Yes, we do. Okay, perfect. Now, the big thing that we need to do is take this territory and hold out for as long as possible. All right, we'll create a separate army, have you hold the line over on this side, and the remainder of you will head down here to the south because I'm gonna need you to protect Busan as much as you can. Quick construction bonuses. I need as much as we can. We got to build this up fast. Do we have? Yep. First Air Force base. Excellent. I feel like down here, have I been sacrificed? I haven't even paid attention to my Navy. Have I been sacrificed? I have been sacrificing my Navy this entire time. Oh, well, I kind of forgot to play the naval game the entire time because I've been, I've been a little bit too busy over here. And now all I need to do is hold down here for as long as I possibly can while we build up all these varying naval bases. Not naval bases. Well, yes, naval bases, but also Air Force bases. Lots of bases. Lots of bases being built up here everywhere, actually. There we go. We've managed to hold the line. And now next step up here, the home islands. And by quickly switching over here, that'll get me air superiority. That means I can go over here to my paradrop units and I can take Osaka. We're going to Japan, boys. We're there. The ultimate island hopping strategy as the United States, and it's 100% valid. Now, with my paratroopers inside of Japan, that means I can simply waltz over here, possibly take every single thing that is left, and I'm basically able to walk my way into Tokyo. There it goes. There's Shikoku almost completely conquered. There's Kyushu almost completely conquered. The island of Shikoku. Oh, no, wait, no. They made a little bit of a comeback here. Okay, all right, we're gonna have to hold off on that. And just like that, Japan falls. My God, the ultimate island hopping strategy, and it just completely knocks Japan out over the span of like, what, 6 months? Maybe? Like, here's the thing. It actually takes a lot of time in order to be able to create all the air bases that you need in order to be able to launch strikes against Japan and other things. But in the end, my God, that is actually a remarkably powerful. In fact, if I had the time to sit here and micro each and every single little drop that I could do with paratroopers, this is possibly one of the most overpowered broken strategies that I have ever seen. In fact, I don't even have the military war score from just how quick that was to be able to take more of Japan. I only contributed 39%, and that is it. So Japan, still, technically speaking, even after the peace deal, is going to exist. And that's all that I was able to do. You don't get lots of war score from actually taking over the territory with paratroopers very much because there's such little fighting. You immediately just overrun and surround any of the enemies. Now, technically speaking, if I wanted to, I think that I could do the same thing over here to Germany, but to be honest, I have a lot more things that I need to make right now, and I have some errands that I have to run with my wife. Therefore, I think that I'm going to leave things here today. But if you all would like to see this again in the future, if you'd like to see the same kind of strategy, maybe with a historical AI and complete randomness all around the world, then let me know down in the comment section below. If that is something you like, if this video gets 5,000 likes, then I will go ahead and do that. I already know that I have to go and create an Imperial Russia video after this, and that's going to take forever. Anyway, my friends, thank you very much for watching. This has been Stakuyi with another Hearts of Iron 4 playthrough. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, my friends, and thank you.